Lesson 19. Principle of applying creative method. This lesson, we will study the principle of applying the creative method. Creative stand is the fundamental method to be relied on in the revolution and construction. Leader Kim Jong-il said, "To apply the creative method to solve all problems arising in the revolution and construction in conformity with the actual conditions by relying on the creativity of the people. This is the principle one should always strictly adhere to in the revolutionary movement. The method of dynamically pushing ahead with the revolutionary struggle for realizing the popular masses' independence is to give full play to the masses' creative power. Creative stand enables the popular masses to play their role as the decisive force in propelling the revolution and construction. The guiding principle to apply the creative method includes the method of relying on the popular masses and methods suitable to the actual situation. The method of relying on the masses of the people is an important principle for applying the creative method. Relying on the popular masses means believing in the strength of the masses and enlisting their creative ability to solve all problems arising in the revolution and construction. The masses are the decisive forces that propel the revolution and construction. As they are the masters of the revolution and construction and have inexhaustible ability, one can successfully solve difficult problems and energetically speed up the revolution and construction only when he relies on the masses. In order to emerge victorious in the revolutionary movement, it is necessary to believe in the people, learn from them, rely on them, and move them. If we are to carry out the revolution and construction by relying on the masses, it is important to map out lines and policies reflecting their demands and aspirations and make them their own. The masses of the people know the reality better than anybody else and have a wealth of experience. Only when the will and demands of the broad masses are integrated and generalized can the lines and policies be correct, conform with their aspirations and interests, win their hearty support, and inspire them to the struggle. One must lend ear to the voices of the masses to reflect timely the issues arisen by them in lines and policies. One must also make campaign against the phenomena of neglecting and disregarding the public sentiment. One must not only formulate policy reflecting the will and aspiration of the masses, but also bring it home to the masses so as to make it their own. In order to carry out the revolution and construction by relying on the masses, it is necessary to unite them into a single political force. The strength of the masses lies in unity. When they are firmly united, they will demonstrate really amazing power in the revolutionary struggle and construction work. If the masses are to unite firmly, it is necessary to combine the class line properly with the mass line. The mass line must be correctly carried out while firmly adhering to the class line. Only then will it possible to isolate completely the hostile elements and build up the class position and educate and transform broad masses to unite them and give full scope to their creativity in the revolution and construction. If we are to carry out the revolution and construction by relying on the masses, it is important to struggle against all outdated things that hinder innovations. It is particularly important to wage an active struggle against passivism, conservatism, and defeatism in opposing all outdated things that hinder innovations. This is the only way to give full play to the creative power of the masses and bring about continuous innovations and upsurge in the revolution and construction. wide mass movement should be launched in carrying out the revolution and construction by relying on the masses of the people. One can successfully solve difficult problems if he struggles against all elements, checking the mass movement, brings the consciousness and initiative of the masses in full play, and organizes and steadily develops the mass struggle. If we are to carry out the revolutionary construction by relying on the masses, it is important to establish a revolutionary method of work. Without the revolutionary method of work, one will neither be able to mobilize properly the masses to the implementation of the lines and policies, even though they are correct, nor carry out the revolutionary construction successfully. The Revolutionary Party should always hold fast to the revolutionary work method. Only then will it be possible to exploit fully the masses' revolutionary enthusiasm and creative activity and eliminate bureaucratic and administrative tendencies which are liable to appear in a ruling party. Methods suitable to the actual situation are another of the guiding principles to apply the creative method. To do everything in the masses suitable to the actual situation means solving all problems creatively in conformity with the changing and developing realities and concrete conditions of country. If one is to wage the revolutionary struggle in the way which is suitable to one's own actual situation, it is necessary to take correct account of the subjective and objective condition of the revolution in one's own country and determine lines and policies, strategy and tactics in accordance with them. If one fails to take into good account of these conditions, he will fall into subjectivism in mapping out lines and policies and inflict big harm upon the revolutionary construction. One must determine all problems arising in working out the lines and policies, strategy and tactics of the revolution with independent demands and readiness of the masses, while taking the prevailing objective conditions and environment into full consideration. If one is to wage the revolutionary struggle in the way which is suitable to one's own actual situation, it is necessary to take a correct attitude towards the established theories. As conditions and circumstances change ceaselessly, one is unable to map out correctly the lines and policies and escape from turns and twists in the revolutionary construction if one approaches the established theories dogmatically. Dogmatism is self-destruction or falling a trap set by oneself. Starting point in guiding the revolutionary struggle and construction work is not a proposition or formula of the established theories, but the actual realities. If it meets the demands and interests of the popular masses and the subjective and objective conditions, there will be no need to stick to the existing propositions or formula. If one is to wage the revolutionary struggle in the way which is suitable to one's own actual situation, it is necessary to exploit actively the new principles and methods of the revolution and construction in line with the historical conditions of the era and the concrete situation of one's country. History advances and reality changes and develops ceaselessly. Changing era and developing reality present numerous new problems that cannot be solved with the established theories. Therefore, the revolutionary struggle can be conducted in conformity with the demands of the developing era and the actual conditions of one's country only when one actively exploits the principles and methods for the revolution in accordance with new socio-historical conditions and concrete situations. If one is to wage the revolutionary struggle in the way which is suitable to one's own actual situation, it is necessary to approach others' experiences in a critical and creative manner. Experiences of others always reflect social historical conditions and national peculiarities of their country. Some of them are necessary and beneficial to one's country and suitable to one's actual conditions, but some of them are not. Therefore, one must accept those beneficial to one, but reject those which are not beneficial among the experiences of others. Even in case of accepting good experiences of others, one must not swallow them raw, but adhere to the standard of accepting them to suit to one's actual conditions. If one does not copy them but accepts others' experiences in one's own way, the experiences will be one's own instead of others. Thank you for this lesson. Next lesson, we will study the principle of placing the main stress on ideology.